Is there nothing that you know now that you wish you knew when you first started?
The the biggest thing I wish that I knew about getting into the financial services industry in the beginning is the different ways that people present themselves as financial advisors, how they get paid, what they do, what that looks like, and just understanding that they're not all the same. And I know there's lots of places for insurance and products and things to come into play that can really serve a person. But there's also a place where you have to understand when you're just being sold something and when it really serves you. So learning about that and understanding that aspect of it would be something that I would say anyone getting started in the financial services industry should explore and learn more about.
Oh yeah, a lot of these money vehicles are just tools, and what they say, a chainsaw in the hands of a skilled and experienced arborist isn't the same as a chainsaw in the hand of a toddler, right? If you were to go to someone and ask them, would you rather have Tiger Woods or Phil Mickelson's clubs, or would you rather have their swing? Most people would say the swing because they understand that the tool itself doesn't make you a good player. Or it seems like what you're saying, people that you work with should understand that these people's products themselves won't get you to where you're going. You need to learn what to look for and what questions to ask to make sure that they have the right technique, the right swing, and even whether they work with insurance products or series type products, that you know what to look for when it gets implemented.
Exactly. But also, it is about the tool in a way because, you mentioned like a chainsaw. So if you think about
Mm-hmm.
you go into a carpenter's garage and he probably has 20 different kinds of saws. He doesn't just need one kind of saw. How does he know what kind of saw he needs? So it is
Mm.
about the tool also because the products are tools that go into your plan and understanding how they get used for you is key to it. So if you walk into a saw shop and you just say, I need a saw, they're going to say, what for? What kind? How? They're not just going to sell you a saw. They're going to try to understand what you need it for and how it's going to serve you. So that does come into play in finance as well.
Mm. Not just the swing, but the club. Because yeah, you don't want to be trying to hit off the tee with a sand wedge, right? So yeah, it's not just the swing, but the club. And it sounds like what you're saying is, regardless of whether it's the swing or the club, you probably need to work with people who ask you questions before they just implement.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all about understanding the whole picture of it. And you're right. I mean, if you go in and you say, I need a set of golf clubs, they're not just going to sell you a set of golf clubs. Like, are you right-handed or are you left-handed? How tall are you? Are you male or female? There's a lot of things go into just buying a set of golf clubs. Even if you're looking for a starter set of golf clubs, you still need to know just some few basic things to make that decision.
Oh yeah, and the fact that you mentioned starter clubs means that the people should also have a form of self awareness, because just because you have the money doesn't mean you should buy the most expensive clubs in the store. That means you should know that you're about to be swinging at a high velocity a piece of equipment toward ground that you have no experience doing it. You're probably going to damage these clubs. And maybe it may be best for you to, instead of replacing the engine, check the spark plugs, as they say. So how how do people that know what to do? Because like you said, most people know to ask that before somebody implements something for you. It means they maybe should ask you questions first, and it makes it more likely that they're going to get it right. How do people know what to do still end up not struggling to follow through as it relates to money?
I think the main reason is because they don't take their own personality into account. So when you work with a financial person, sometimes they'll do what they call a risk tolerance questionnaire that that gives them an idea of where you should be invested based on your tolerance, which is all about your tolerance is all about how you react to money. You know, whether your money is going to go up or down. And if you're going to have a gut reaction, if it goes down, where you're going to think like, oh, I need to pull all my investments out because it went down. And that's one piece of it. But there's a lot more to it than just your risk tolerance, because there's your risk capacity. Like, how much risk are you able to take on? Because even though you might score high on a risk profile and be like, yeah, you know, I'm all about put it all in and let's just go with the market and I'm good with ups and downs. But you know what? If you're saving for retirement and you're 5 years away and you don't have enough money, you know, maybe you don't want to be swinging for the fences, because you need to keep something, you know, in a safer investment so that you're able to retire and you're not going to have a big downswing that's going to prevent you from doing that. So that capacity is a whole different concept than the actual tolerance. And then you have a third thing, which I take into account too when I talk to people, is what is your need for risk? You know, do you need to be taking a bigger risk to get ahead? How far is that timeline, and how does that fit in with your tolerance and your capacity? So I really look at three different things and really try to get to know the person, and so that I can help them understand where they fit in that scale when they talk about where they need to invest. Because if they don't understand how they're going to react or what their personality is going to do, then it's not going to work for them. Like, they're going to be working against themselves.
Oh yeah, risk tolerance versus risk capacity. A lot of people consider those terms synonymous, but like you said, just because a jug can hold 5 gallons doesn't mean it should. You need to make some educated guesses. Maybe your car, hypothetically speaking, metaphorically speaking, is parked a mile down the road, and all you need is just a gallon of gas to get you to the gas station, as opposed to maybe you have a lot longer to go, or maybe you're just storing this for future needs. Definitely a lot of questions that need to be answered, and all truths are parallel. Know your tolerance and also know your capacity. And for people like us in this industry, we also understand our training says before we can even give insight, before we can even give advice, we need to have somewhere in writing that we asked and got the answer. What's your tolerance? What's your capacity? What's your net worth? What's your income? And if the person that you're working with isn't asking you these questions, maybe they don't care, or they don't care to care, right? But either way, it's very important.